Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Look, it's the show that everybody's talking about. There's no secret about that. It's dominated social. It's dominated every talk show there is. And joining us right now to talk about Shogun is Anna Sawai. Anna, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Look, I'm fantastic. Like your show is fantastic. This is one of those shows that, I think years ago, and this is probably a phrase that's lost on younger people now, but there used to be this thing, water cooler television, right? Where people would see a show and then they have to talk about it the next day in the office or on the water cooler or what have you. This has achieved that status. I'm telling you, in casual conversations, it's coming up. It's everywhere. How are you and the rest of the cast reacting to this great reception that you're getting?
I mean, it's so amazing. And I think that getting those reactions really helped me look at the whole show in a totally new perspective. And so it's been refreshing for me, but also fun just watching like everyone debate on certain characters or scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is causing a lot of conversation on the internet and everywhere else. Now, you play Mariko as your character. And from my understanding, you had to do a lot to kind of get prepared for this character. A lot of training, whether it be horseback riding or all kinds of different things. Now, one of the interesting things that I learned is you had to take calligraphy lessons so that your handwriting could mirror that of your characters. Why was that important for you, and how did it inform your character?
Well, there's only so much stuff that is left of Hosokawa Garasha-san, who is the inspiration of Mariko. And so if there was anything that we can do accurately, then I was like, we have to do it. And calligraphy was going to be one of the lessons, and it only made sense that we practiced in her writing. So it's all about the details. It's what builds and makes the character.
Now, is that like calligraphy? Because when I hear about it, I have terrible penmanship, just to let you know. I'm a lefty and everything's backwards for me. But is that something that's a difficult skill to master for your character?
It was so difficult because you're just using like a fude. It's basically like a painting brush, and then you put the ink and then you write. But right now we like to like put our elbow down, or our whole arm is down. But back then you would have to just write it almost like you're floating. So it's just the tip of the brush that's like hitting the paper, and that was really hard to like write beautifully.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Almost like retraining your brain. You actually said that you felt somewhat like a baby on this show because you had to relearn how to do everything, relearn how to walk, especially in the kimono and things of that nature. Did you understand? Because I know y'all were supposed to shoot for 6 months, ended up going for 10. I'm sure this was a mental battle for you just from that, physical demanding performance that this kind of, role, needs from you.
Yeah, I mean, it was physically heavy, and like I kind of was anticipating the end a little bit, but I think it really helped because Mariko is stuck. you know? And she, towards the end, I was feeling more liberated because I saw the final, like the goal. And so I think it all just really, in the end, in hindsight, I look back and think it was perfect.
Now, you said that when people would see, friends of yours would see work that you did before, you would say, "Oh, thank you so much," but you would say, "I know that they didn't do this accurately or they didn't do this completely right."
Mhm.
You said this one, you have no excuses. What do you mean by that?
Well, um, I think that some projects, they try to do the Japanese theme, but there's always a little bit of thing, like there's a little thing that a Japanese person would look at and be like, "That's not really how it's done here," or "That's not our language." Speaking to my Japanese friends, I would just have to warn them about it because, I knew that they were going to pick up on those things. Whereas in this project, I've said nothing but you have to watch it. Like, I'm so excited because the Japanese people are celebrating it. They really see that it's all authentic.
Yeah, and that's something that's probably hard to capture for an American audience, or an American
Hmm.
project to capture that true essence of what it was in
Hmm.
1600, and speaking even the language is different than it is. I guess the Japanese vernacular of today is different than it was in 1600. I think you said it's more elongated.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the language, we finish our sentences very differently. Everyone is calling Japan Hinomoto, and we don't use that word. So when I first heard someone say it, I was like, "What is that?" And they were like, "It's Japan, dummy." But no, it was very fun learning these things.
When you're standing there and two women are dressing you in the mornings and it's taken 45 minutes every day for 10 months or whatever it was, is there some sort of a grounding ritual that you have to do kind of in your mind to get into character and not kind of, I don't know, get caught up too much?
Um, I really liked the process because it was, the 40, 45 minutes that I was dressing, it really helped me kind of get into the character's shoes. But I would always light an incense and I would play my Shogun list that I had just made myself. And it would usually be like an instrumental playlist that got me into like a Zen mood.
Now, for me, everything that I do, whether it be an interview with you or anything in my life, I always find that I take one thing from it that's going to carry me forward throughout every other project that I tackle. What is maybe one thing that you're going to take from this show into everything else that you do?
That's a really difficult question because I feel like I learned so much and there is so many things, so many little things that I can't even like properly vocalize. But I think that the attention to detail and just being very focused on what's right. I will always look for that in my future projects.
Well, you know what? This show is fantastic. Everybody loves it. Congratulations on just another show that I feel like is it's a cultural force right now. It seems to be
Thank,
that way worldwide. So congratulations and thanks so much for taking the time this morning.
thank you, Brad.